finally made it to the big city. It's time for me to strike out and buy my own house to live in. Okay, so buying a house is harder than ever to do currently. So how about instead of that, we go into Super Smash Bros. And rank every stage based on how well it'd be nice for me to live there, you know? Let's lay out some ground rules, okay? I'll be using Tier Maker and ranking every stage in the game based on how livable it is. Currently, our tiers, we have Paradise, Comfy Home, It's Fine, Floating Platform, Would Not Want to Live Here, Actively Dangerous to Live Here, and Actual Hell. When it comes to stages, everything seeable is fair game. If you could feasibly get to a nice structure in a background and live there, that counts. If you're on a floating platform with no way to get somewhere nice, then tough luck. You are stuck on that platform and have to live there. With that out of the way, we should probably get started, considering there's like over 90 stages in this game. I have no life. It's very nice, but it's just I don't know if I could live here. With living in this area would be the fact that it's just a floating platform over like a waterfall. So like, I don't know. It's kind of like there's no food, no shelter. It's a floating island. So same thing here, but like technically worse because there's less space. Do I even need to repeat myself for this one? It's got the same problems as the other place, but it's bigger. So I guess, I mean, there's more place to live, but so yeah, it's another floating platform, but like instead of vegetation or like a waterfall beneath me, it's just a bunch of clouds. The background turns into outer space, which last I checked, I cannot breathe it. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, considering I don't think any of these characters can breathe in space. See, like, what's going on in here? Like, I don't want to live here. This one's a little tricky. This is Peach's castle, which very much is livable, but the problem is we're on another floating platform above, and like theoretically I know there's water down there. Right here is supposed to be a tower reaching from the ground, and I can theoretically enter here and go down there. It's a bit of a stretch, but after 4 in a row of saying just floating platform, I'm just gonna put It's Fine question mark. Okay, so this is just the jungle, which, I mean, that's not the worst. I mean, there's probably a lot of scary things hiding in the jungle that could hurt me. But let's give it the benefit of the doubt again. No, actually, who wants to sleep in a jungle? It's about to go dark. I'm gonna get bitten by a snake. Besides, like, this platform here, there's no really, like, anywhere to live. I'm gonna put this in a not a good place to live. Hyrule Castle. Not bad. I mean, we're on top of it, but theoretically, just enter one of these windows here and we can be in the castle, which is a pretty sweet deal. There's nothing really, you know, better than a castle. My only problem is if this is the castle from Ocarina of Time. Oh, you know, that's a good point. Tornadoes are a bit scary, but I mean, just be in the house and you're fine. This is the castle from Ocarina of Time. This place is gonna get taken over by Ganondorf in the future. Which, you know, that's not great, so I'm not gonna put it at the top tier, but I will put it in Comfy Home. The Happy Tree, which is another floating platform in the sky, which, as we all know, isn't great. This does edge out the battlefields, though, considering there's at least food here, so I won't starve to death. And it's kind of hard to be sad with this beautiful heart smiling at me. I have about the same reaction to the last place. Dreamland itself is down there, but it looks like a very long fall. I don't think I'd survive going down there. At the very least, I know Wispy Woods can drop apples every once in a while, so that's nice, so we won't starve. But, I'm trying to blow me off the island isn't very nice. Bonus points for water? Okay, so this is like an actual city where people actually live and stuff, so that's already so much better than, like, anything else we've come across. And, like, sure, Pokemon will spring out to attack you, but, like this, yeah. But if I'm living in Saffron City, I'm probably gonna get one of my own, right? I'm just gonna say it's, like, a comfy place to live. It's not great. Rent's probably sucks around here, and the Pokemon are dangerous, but I'm gonna say it's comfy. Not bad, actually. Like, there's a lot of goons around, but, like, I would say out of the, like, massive dangers we could run into, a few Goombas or Koopas are not going to, like, ruin my day. Plus, actually, there's a castle here. That's pretty good. I'm gonna give this a comfy. Princess Peach's castle. Like, look at that background. First of all, it is gorgeous, and it's another castle, which is going to be, like, amazing living. But the only problem is Peach lives here, which means it is bound to be under siege by Bowser, like, constantly. I could need to go to work for my 9 to 5, and oh no, all the stars were stolen. Now I'm locked in the castle until, you know, Mario does something. It's like, it's the same thing as Hyrule Castle. Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think this would be a good place to live at all. I mean, yeah, you can stay in the ship, but, like, first of all, if this is the Mario 64 place, you're living in a painting, so, like, there's some psychological damage there. And second of all, eventually the ship, like, crashes and you're forced to do, like, an obstacle course, like, constantly. Well, I don't know, if I want to just stay on my ship. Like, okay, yeah, this is actively dangerous to stay in. Like, look at this. Yeah, okay, actively dangerous to stay in. Okay. So at first glance, this place seems a bit dangerous to live in. However, just jump over to, like, this grassy area over there, and you got, like, a nice, like, little shack to live in with a pretty not bad view. So, like, if you stay away from the rivers, I'd give this a comfy home. Okay, so this is, at first glance, pretty, familiar to the other one, but, instead of the house being beside the dangerous rapids, it is very much built over the dangerous rapids. So that's gonna dock it some points. However, Cranky Kong lives here, and he seems okay. Maybe a bit stranded, but I'm just gonna put this under not a good place to live. However, it does have an outhouse. Nowhere else so far has had an outhouse. Okay, you know what? This place is pretty nice. But there's some dangers here. For instance, the view is very nice. Like, really nice. But my main quarrel is, I can't get a good view of him. That guy in the sky. In 3 days, that guy's gonna wreck you. Like, I don't need to list this guy's crimes, right? I wouldn't want to live anywhere where Tingle is. And the fact that, you know, the moon might come crashing down if no one stops that. I'm gonna put it in its fine question mark. I could definitely live here. It's just, you know, could get dicey. This is a floating platform, island, whatever you call it. Next. It's not great. The views aren't perfect. It's another floating platform. But it also has the added bonus of there being, like, acid that continuously comes up to attack you. Not great at all. Awful sights. Like, who would want to live here? And if you do somehow escape this cave, you're on an alien planet. with even more scary things. This one's going to the actual hell. This is one of our worst ratings. Yep. Lots of food. Lots of like real estate on Yoshi's Island to live on. There's like a few dangerous things, but like you go to Yoshi's house and live there, you're okay. I'm gonna put this in it's fine question mark. Cause maybe I'm just a bit biased because that last place was literal hell. I'm gonna say it. You ready? This is a floating platform. Well, okay, technically it's like a little island, but it's still the same. Shout out to Randall, though. Okay, it pains me to say this, but this is just another floating platform. Like, we're just in space. Which, I have been giving the benefit of the doubt that we can live in space, but the only thing that's good about this place is we have drinking water. But, yeah. No. I'm sorry, but this is just a floating platform. I'm gonna rate this similarly to the other greens. Last place we saw Wispy Woods. This is kind of the same deal, except bombs can fall from the sky. Theoretically, if we go inside the spaceship, it's fine. I mean, Star Fox lives in this, so it can't be that bad. I just personally wouldn't want to live in a spaceship. One that's also currently under attack. This is the exact same thing as the last time, so it's getting the same rating. This is our first, like, stadium, and I have to beg the question, do I count, like, you have to live in the stadium, or can you live in the city? You know what? I'm gonna be generous, so I can stay in the city. So this is gonna get the same ranking as Saffron. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Would this be a nice place to live or a paradise?
What? Neither.
What do you mean neither?
It's just a couple buildings. I feel like
It's a town!
Yeah, see, look, and it's not even safe.
Okay, fine. That's right, there is some dangerous drivers around.
Where are the police when you need them?
I guess we'll put it into comfy home. You think this place is actively dangerous?
No, the last one.
No! Trust me, we gotta save those for, like...
That's terrifying. That's your sleep paralysis demon right there. Oh.
I would say... I mean, it's kind of nice looking, but ultimately...
Platforms?
No, because this connects to more land. So, like, a floating platform is for a place...
I don't really think they need to update their graphics.
I would say this place is kind of actively dangerous to live in, though.
Terrifying. Like, that's literally giving me nightmares.
What? Classic Birdo?
Yeah. I don't like the way that Snout looks.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this down as not a good place to live.
What even is this?
This is the Brinstar Depths. It's an alien planet.
I think I'll let Samus handle it.
Yeah, okay, so first of all, first strike, floating platform again, over lava.
And it's not very
Oh, and there's one other thing.
Oh.
I'm gonna put this under hell.
Yeah.
Because he...
Oh. Oh. Oh, fun.
Yeah, don't live here.
Why does it have boobs?
Next place. First quarrel. We are on a racetrack.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a great place to live.
Not really.
But theoretically, if we got off the racetrack...
I mean, those homes do look pretty nice.
They would be nice, right? Like, theoretically...
Although, if there's a tsunami coming, you're kind of screwed.
That is true. I don't know my F-Zero lore to know if they get frequent tsunamis or not, but...
Or storms. Or if those are actually houses people
Would you like to live at the ocean? I feel like people...
I would love to live at the ocean.
People might consider this a paradise, as long as you're not on the track.
I mean, I feel like also the track would be popular.
Yeah, you get to watch the races.
So I'm sure, although those homes would probably cost millions.
I honestly might put this as... Ignore my death. I might honestly put this as our first paradise. Look at this place.
Honestly, of Las Vegas.
Yeah?
Hmm.
Like, not a bad place to live, huh?
Well.
Okay. Maybe it's not a paradise, but compared to like...
Actually, I think it depends because I saw a girl who did a video on Las Vegas and she was saying that like the parties there, like, because even for your birthday, those big fancy hotels, it's normal for you to go and have those party at those really cool hotels.
The only thing that could be considered dangerous here is a UFO shows up every once in a while, but...
Well, apparently they confirmed that UFOs are real, so...
I don't know, would you put this in a nice place to live or a paradise?
I think it depends. We need to know its crime statistics.
Okay, I do believe in Earthbound you do fight mobsters.
But I'm just worried about the economy.
Okay, so a comfy place to live.
I would say we'll put it in comfy, because it looks like there's a lot of things to do, and there's crime everywhere. And not everybody has a Spider-Man.
Okay, I might put this under paradise. It is a tropical beach resort.
My poor wallet.
I know. This is Island Delfino. It's apparently bougie enough that Princess Peach chose it as her vacation spot for the summer.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really nice.
If she chose it, then you gotta put it under paradise.
I mean, there is the monsters in the wilds and stuff, but like...
Well, that's fine. Just let Mario
the
handle
actual
it.
town is, like, good.
No, then you're fine. Just don't stray off the town. It's like any vacation spot. Don't stay away.
I would honestly put this in, like, a paradise. And, like, this little platform gives you the tour. Like...
Well, it's not very safe, but I mean, it looks nice.
You don't have to go on the platform. And, like, there's lots of towns and stuff.
Ooh,
there's shops.
Random water.
Yeah, it's, like, really nice. Look, there's a beach.
Ooh, private beach.
Exactly, like...
You better take me there.
No. Anyways, we're gonna put this one under paradise. So this is a desert.
Yeah, we're gonna hit X to doubt.
However, there is technically a place to live, because it's the original Mario course, so, there is a castle at the end.
Oh?
So you could live here.
I don't
But the question is it actively dangerous to live here?
I'm gonna assume yes.
Well, okay, give me a danger.
Heat, exhaustion, lack of food, lack of water.
I would say lack of food and water would be the biggest pitfall there.
I don't, yeah.
Another racetrack.
There's nowhere to live here.
That's true, and we have to live here. Like, theoretically, we could hitch a ride along against guys and go elsewhere, but the general rule of thumb is we gotta live here.
Yeah, you'd be living underneath the bleachers, and that can't be fun. There's gum and shit. Have you ever been under the bleachers? Not to mention what people do under those bleachers.
But at the same time, I wouldn't actively say it's dangerous if you're off the road.
That'd be so gross.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a great place.
Not to mention your only bathroom would be the porta potty.
Technically, you could survive here. Therefore, it's
What, on hot dogs and soda?
Yeah. Technically, it's fine.
No.
But I don't want to live here.
Yeah. Oh my god, no.
See,
I hate this place. This is my least favorite stage.
Like, what would we even... This is like a WarioWare video game we're living in.
I've never done drugs, but if I did, I'm gonna assume this would be the experience.
I would honestly put this in, it's actively dangerous to live here, because, like, you're relaxing 1 minute, like, ooh, just, you know, living here.
I don't know, the pig is terrifying. It's staring into my soul.
And then suddenly you're thrust into, I don't know, 100 arrows being thrown at you. You know what? I'm gonna put this into active hell.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Wario will taunt you for all eternity.
Yeah.
Okay, so like genuinely beautiful sights, but we're on a road in between like many towns.
Well, we have to live specifically on the bridge.
Technically, the castle is in view.
Yeah. Because if you take in the castle, it looks like it'd be a generally nice
But
place
this is
to
also
live.
Twilight Princess, and some terrible stuff goes down there in this game. Anyways, I'm gonna put actively dangerous to live in.
I would agree.
Active hell. Moving on. Okay, I don't know much about the lore of this place. Like, I don't know about, like, how nice it is to live in, like, the facility that hosts this thing, but I do know it escapes. So, I'm gonna say actively dangerous to live in. Is that cool with everyone? It kind of pains me to do this because it feels like I'm just on top of a hill, but I kind of am feeling floating platform because I don't know how to get down. Unless I can, like, jump on those hills back there. I guess you could hitch a ride with him, but then it takes you to, like, an abyss and you die. I'm not sure. Not to mention there's Shy Guys and Chain Chomps. I think I'll be doing this place a favor by just putting it in floating platform. I don't think this would be safe at all. If you're not one of Meta Knight's crew, then you're kind of in big danger. And I'm not part of Meta Knight's crew, so I don't think he would appreciate me living on his ship. Which, to be fair, I think might be cozy, considering, you know, he has a crew there and everything, but I think that said crew would be a good danger to my life, so I'm going to put this in actively dangerous to live at. Okay, I'm still being generous and saying, you know, we don't suffocate in space, but, we would have to live on this spaceship right here. And it looks small. It's not a good living space. But I wouldn't say it's dangerous. Well, it's dangerous because I don't know how to fly space, so actively dangerous. Not to mention this ship has a course through an active war zone and an asteroid belt. Yeah, it's actively dangerous. Okay, I'm just gonna give this place the same rating as I did the last stadium. Okay, so technically, we're on another racetrack, but this is a port town. Emphasis on the town part, which means technically you could live here. Like, it's a town, so people do. You just gotta stay away from the racetrack. However, from what I see, it's not really... It's more a racetrack than a town. Like, I don't see many buildings. I don't know. It seems more like a race town. Oh, never mind. You know what? Comfy place to live. Take a spaceship down there. Yeah. Okay. This is immediately going into actively dangerous to be living in. Like, a castle's nice, but it is currently under siege. Whereas every castle I've talked about so far has the chance to be under siege. And, this place randomly teleports you, like, to a throne room filled with, bad guys or into an active volcano. It's not a great time to be here. Okay, so this is an uninhabited planet filled with large creatures that want to kill you. And if you've played a Pikmin game, you know this is an active danger. It is not impossible to survive if you have a spacecraft with you. But yeah, I'm going to put actively dangerous to live in. There is spots you can hide, but like... It's very dangerous. Somehow these guys had to make it up here. I mean, hell, they brought an entire car with them. Like, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that this place floats back down to the ground and then everyone can come up for a ride. In which case, I'm going to give this a comfy place to live. It is a city, so there is livable conditions. I haven't played Mother 3 very much, but I know this is the last area of the game. For one, there's the Porky statue that can come and murk you, and then there's the Chimera, which is an instant kill if it finds you. On top of, you know, this being an end game location, so anything you run into is going to be high level. Despite it being a town, I'm going to put it in, it's actively dangerous to live here. Okay, it's pretty, but you're on top of a mountain and it is incredibly cold, and you're high enough that the northern lights are like right beside you. This is no place to live. Not to mention, any second now, this mountain apparently is going to break down. I might even put this into actual hell due to the coldness, the nowhere to actually live, and then the immediate danger you're going to be in facing with the landslide and the giant fish that comes for you. Yeah. You don't want to live here. Okay, so we're in Skyland. which the background is like a really nice place to be, but the problem is, say it with me, we're on a floating platform. We can't get to like any of the nice living estate back there, which is a real shame. We were this close to like a genuinely nice place to live. Okay, we're in a military base filled with terrorists in the Antarctic. Like, it's not comfy living, but people do live here. My main problem is, if any one of those soldiers finds us, we're in huge trouble. So this comes to an actively dangerous to live in. Luigi's Mansion. So I would immediately put this in actively dangerous to live here. Even though it's a nice place. But the cherry on top is this place is secretly a floating stage. Yeah. Place could break apart and then you're stranded on a floating island. Yeah, actively dangerous to live in. Okay, a pirate ship. You could live on a pirate ship. Granted, I don't see any indoor area to actually hide in now that I think about it, but let's give it the benefit of the doubt and believe we can, you know, live in this. Ask me this. Do you want to live in this? Yes? How about now? Yeah. Okay, that's admittedly pretty. But I'm going to put this in actively dangerous to live in. Okay, so Spear Pillar already is kind of just like a bunch of ruins, so it's not really a nice place to stay. The major flaw of living here is the legendaries just like to wreak havoc here. Like every like minute or so they come to like ruin your day. So there's nowhere to stay and you're constantly in danger. I'm gonna put this in actual hell. Okay, so this is just a construction site in the void, which is floating, where we're constantly in danger from this guy. I think you can see where I'm coming from here, that this place is actually hell. Same rating as the last one, though admittedly it feels a little safer. I'm not entirely sure how to rank Cannonbow. I would put it in not a good place to live. I don't think it's dangerous, and it's not exactly hell. There's water, and if you're really hungry, you could catch a tadpole. But, yeah, not a good place to live. Not a bad place, actually, to live. The problem is, it's just, you would need to find, like, a place to actually live. Like, there's not really buildings, as far as I know, in Green Hill Zone. But, like, it's pretty. It's friendly. There's water. There's probably food. That there's no homes to live in, so maybe I'll bump it down to it's fine. It's good looking, though. Going into this, I thought I was going to rate this place kind of bad. Because it's just kind of like a bunch of perilous, you know, Mario, like, overworld shenanigans. But since if we're following the rule, if I can see something in the background and I could probably feasibly get to it, we can see Peach's castle right there. Just cross, like, the grass, and we can stay in Peach's castle. So I'm going to give it the rating I gave the last time we saw Peach's castle. So yeah. The same cannot be said about this place. There is no Peach's castle in the background, just a field. There's lots of money, but as far as I know, there's not exactly, like, a house to live in. I'm gonna have to put this in it's fine. So at first I'm like, oh yeah, the windmill, but I have already counted a place transforming as a fact that you can't live there for long. It will transport you to somewhere else. And this stage proceeds to transform this scene into a pirate ship and Bowser's Castle. But another thing is, if you're outside at any point, this fan will ruin your day. So I'm going to put this place as an actively dangerous place to live in. Corona Valley isn't bad. You'd have to deal with a lot of thieves and some heat. but you could totally live in these tents or even the town over there. I think that's pretty livable. It's just, it could be a little dicey sometimes if, you know, you're not part of the Gerudo and there's monsters nearby, right? So it is a little dangerous, but even then, you could just stay in this tent and not actually enter the town. I'm going to say it's not a good place to live. So, as far as I know, there's no villages this train goes by or stops at. So that's not great, which means we're going to have to live on the train. Like, I don't really trust Link to drive much, let alone something I'm going to live in. And, like, look at that! I'm going to put this in actively dangerous to live in. Like, don't live on this train. Okay, so here we're living in an actual Game Boy. An auto-scrolling Game Boy. Do I need to explain how, you know, that is a hell? That's just straight up hell. Okay, so the Pokemon League actually is, you know, pretty nice inside. The only problem is the legendary Pokemon problem around here. They're kind of an infestation, kind of like Spear Pillar. They are attacking, but at the very least, the league is nice. And spoilers for the rest of the stage, eventually N's castle arises from the background. And yeah, so this doubles as not just the league, but a castle to live in. So unfortunately, I do have to put this in actively dangerous to stay in. But you know, if it wasn't for the legendary Pokemon and the grunts all left, this would not be a bad deal. Okay, so this is like the grand city of Pokemon X and Y, and it's a pretty good looking place. This is the gym right here, and this is a floating platform that takes you high up, which is a bit dicey, but you don't have to be here. You could just live in like a nice town over there. You could debate that this is a paradise, but we could also use Rose's calling card from earlier and say the rent is probably pretty high, so I think we're just going to put it into a comfy place. And we're on another racetrack. And it's Mute City. Emphasis on the city. Those pixels back there are indeed a city. Get off the racetrack and walk over there. You have a nice home to stay in. So I'm going to give it a comfy place to live. Alright, Magicant. Now, this is a bit tricky. There is houses, so you could live there. But we're facing a problem of we're on the clouds over the place. Which means we can't really go to like where the living area is. Now, these guys live here. That's all well and good, but there's no way to really get down unless we ride this guy all the way down. This is a giant from the game. You guys are really beating the crap out of each other. I'm trying to talk here. It is heavily implied that he can reach the ground. So if we ask him very nicely, he could let us down. And if we do, we could live in like any one of those, you know, buildings down there. If we stretch it, I would say this is a nice place to stay. And possibly even a paradise. Like, look at this place. So we are in an arena. However, I know from... I've played Awakening. This arena is in a city. I'm going to assume that logically there is a way to get to this floating platform in the middle. Because even in the game, it is like a platform in the middle of nowhere. I'm just going to assume there are bridges that connect to this. In my mind, I would actually, you know, say it's not a bad place to live. It is cold. This is like a wintry region. And they're kind of like, you know, old-fashioned in the battle ways, but you know, it's still a town. But I mean, I'm gonna put just a platform for safety in case someone gets upset, because there is like no visible signs of how they get to this platform, even in the game. You don't want to live here. It is a bunch of ruins in the middle of a war, so you already are actively in danger with not very much place to live. But the goddess of nature is about to send a bomb that destroys everything here. I would put this in hell. You're in the middle of a war and you're about to get bombed. No, that is not a comfy place to live. Next question. This is a paradise. It is a tropical retreat where Tortimer lives. Cappen's family lives here. Usually, there's a bunch of trees here with, like, tropical fruits that are yummy. And you're not stranded here. Kappen shows up with a boat. It's a tropical beach resort. And you can, like, leave at any time. This is a paradise. I wouldn't want to live here. There's nowhere really to live. It's just kind of like a dark field with, you know, lightning and fish that will eat you. It's actively dangerous to live here. Okay, the only downside is for some reason we are tiny. Otherwise, this is just like a lovely house with a dog. Despite the fact that we're tiny, this is a nice house. The dog is very nice. It's very pretty outside. I'm gonna put this in a comfy place to live. This place does not have a lot going for it. It's a bunch of ruins up in the sky, so, you know, floating stage again. But also, you are in active danger with no place to hide beside a cage from this monster. It's, like, not a good time at all. So, like, I would go even beyond it being dangerous to live here and even putting it into a soft hell. Okay. This is gonna be a paradise. Nice apartment. Very easy living. There's so many different apartment types to choose from that you can live anywhere you want, which is nice. And you live on a tropical island that has a supermarket, multiple clothing stores, and an amusement park. Like, in terms of stages in this game, you're not going to get much better. I'm trapped in my DS. This is hell. So at first glance, it's just a field. Nowhere really to live. No, like, obvious sources of food, unless maybe there's some in a tree. When you consider the fact that Nabbit comes to inconvenience you, and Kamek will come and warp you to various dangerous locations with magic. Kind of, you know, magic like that. So I'm going to put this in actively dangerous to live in. Okay, so giving the benefit of doubt that I can breathe in space again. We have a house here, very cute to live in. And it's like really nice looking. And given the, you know, the fact it's Mario Galaxy, we should be able to find like a launch star to get us to the Mario spaceship back there. And in terms of food, there's Starbits. And those taste like rock candies, so there you go. And let's talk about that view, okay? It's a bit isolated, but you could go other places if you get on Spaceship Mario. And maybe it's just my Mario Galaxy bias here, but I'm gonna give this a paradise. Like, it's so pretty. You have a house. You have means to go elsewhere and get food and supplies. Yep. The racetrack itself is a floating Mobius 8 strip, but there is a lot of buildings to stay at. The problem is getting down to it. Like, okay, we were just raised onto this tower that has a staircase down, actually, so we should be able to safely get to one of the buildings or even Peach's castle there. So honestly, I was going to be a little more harsh because of like how hard it would be to get to the castle, but with that staircase there, pretty simple. You don't even have to go on the track at all. My cats are making a huge mess as usual in the background. Alright, Skyloft. So right off the bat, this is a town in the sky. And if you stay on the island, you're relatively safe. And hey, even if you fall off, they have people on birds looking out for that kind of thing. It's really pretty. You have like sources of food and everything, and like water, food is taken care of, nice housing, beautiful views, and even more islands you can fly to. And if you're done with the island, you can always go to the surface as well. Like, this is an incredible place to live, all things considered. What we've seen so far, I might even put it into a paradise. So, yeah. Okay, there's a lot to take in. So there's like a dungeon here. You could live there, but like the place is surrounded by lava, rampant minecarts that like could like ram into you. It could be needlessly complicated to talk about this place. There is like a little dungeon on the top which avoids most of it, but like I'm still gonna put this in actively dangerous. On top of that, I don't really want to live in a cave. Hey, another Pokemon League, but you know, it's not under attack by like an evil organization. The problem is the Pokemon again. They affect the stage and make it hazardous. And sometimes legendary Pokemon can appear, which makes it even more dangerous. And even then, this stage is just gonna do this. That's not very safe, so I'm gonna have to put actively dangerous to live in. So we have yet another, like, arena. But the problem here is this isn't based on anywhere we know in the Fire Emblem series. So I can't be certain there's an actual town surrounding here. So I'm gonna have to put this in, like, not dangerous to live in, but like, I don't want to live here. So I'm just gonna say not a good place to live. I'm trapped in a Game & Watch. I don't need to explain why this is hell, right? At first glance, this is a lot, and even technically a floating platform. However, this time we have actual, like, access to, like, Palutena's temples and, like, living areas here. And, you know, I hear they're pretty cozy. Like, they're cozy enough that they have, like, pizza delivery service around here. It's not bad looking. If you stray off the path a little, it gets a little dicey. Like, there's a dungeon with spikes, but you don't need to go there. I'm gonna put this in a cozy place to live. That might be a bit controversial, but you know, it's nice looking. So technically it's a house, but again, we're mini for some reason. But there's a difference between the Nintendo house and this house. Is that there is a demon mom that for some reason wants to kill us for existing. So like, the house is cozy, there's food and stuff, but I would not want to live here. It is not a good place to live. Okay, this place is really pretty and all. However, I have to give it the same rating as the last Pikmin stage we did, because it's kind of the same deal. The only difference is I can see a spaceship there that you could, you know, stay the night in. But, I would still say it's about the same level of danger. I'm gonna give the same rating to the last Animal Crossing place. You know what I mean. Same rating. Moving on. Okay, so this is just like straight up a fitness studio. I mean, it's fine, I guess. Like, I wouldn't want to live in a studio, but like, it's better than a lot of options. So I'm just gonna put this in. It's fine. This is another stadium, and I'm fairly certain that it takes place in a town, but there's really no way to prove that. If you go off the impression that this stadium is in the middle of a town with how fancy it looks like it is, I think it is, then yeah, I'd put a cozy place to live. But going off of what we can actually see, I'm gonna have to put it in it's fine ? Really nice looking, but from what I can see, there's no like actual places to stay. And on top of that, monsters come out at night and day, and we do have a giant boss fight that does take place here. So It's not a great place to live, honestly. So it's a field with nowhere apparently to live. So that's not great. I'm gonna put this in not a great place to live. There's not anything actually endangering my life, but like, it's where am I to live? The tree? A tower that's being wrecked? Not a very safe place. However, there is a town back there. The problem is, I don't see any safe way to actually get down there. Which means we're stuck living on the tower, which is not great. So I'm going to put actively dangerous to live at. We're immediately on a pilot wing, which isn't inherently dangerous if you're in the plane. And then you could land the plane either on this island or Woohoo Island over there. Which means, technically, this could be a paradise. If you know how to fly a plane, just fly yourself over the Woohoo Island and just live there on a tropical island resort and, you know, I don't know, play tennis for the rest of your days. Future Kaylum here. I actually changed the ranking of this one because in order to get the paradise ranking, you would need to know how to fly a plane. So I changed the ranking of this one. However, Woohoo Island still gets a paradise. There's no really buildings to really live in, and on top of that, it's another floating island situation. Now, that place in itself is very dangerous, filled with killer robots and stuff, but we have kind of a problem. We cannot even reach it because we are stuck on a floating platform. So I'm doing it a favor by just calling it a floating platform, because this guy's a menace. Pac-Land. This is technically a city. We have Pac-Man's house and, you know, multiple houses. I would honestly just simply put it as it's cozy living. Alright, Mario Maker. The problem with ranking this one is it is always different. However, a majority of the time it is a floating platform, and the other amount of times it is actively dangerous to my health. So I'm going to be generous considering what I got here and say floating platform. But the main problem again is there's really no way to get down, which is a shame because it's pretty and it's a castle. Like, we could use the benefit of doubt and say over here there's a ladder that leads you down onto the roof. Or hell, maybe if we stretch it, we could jump from here onto the roof and find some kind of entrance. In which case, I would say this is a cozy place to live, possibly even a paradise. But because I can't see any way to get down, I'm going to have to put it as a floating platform, which sucks. Now, there could be a whole conversation about if Midgar is a good place to live. And from the looks of it, we're kind of on the top part of Midgard, which is admittedly better than the lower part, but you're gonna hate me for this. We are currently on a floating platform. This is kind of dangerous. It's also kind of a floating platform. I feel like a broken record, but I'm gonna give it the edge over being just a floating platform because we are currently plummeting to our death. There is debris coming at us, and in the background a bunch of angels and monsters will be chasing after us. It is dangerous to live here. Alright, finally on to the ultimate stages. We got New Donk City, and honestly, this is a pretty cozy place to live. But with other city places we've noted, I'm gonna have to keep it from being a paradise solely because of that rent. That's tough. Like, there's also no, like, actual way to get down unless you have the paraglider, which I do not. which means we'd have to climb down the tower like in the game, which would be rough. But I don't think I'll quite give it floating platform, because in Breath of the Wild, you can climb. Not to mention, the old king does paraglide here sometimes, so he could give it to you if you ask nicely. The problem is, this is like a war-torn place about to face Calamity Ganon, with no houses anywhere nearby, at least in sight, and nothing but ruins. So I'm gonna put it down and not a great place to live. Now, we have like Inkopolis in the background, so we just need to figure out a way to get there, and I'll give it a nice, pretty comfy, like, rating. Notably, this does almost look like a helicopter pad right here, so if we squeeze the truth, say that helicopter up there lands here, we could possibly get off, and like if we were an Inkling, we could simply, you know, they have the ability to just spring up into the air and land somewhere. I think I'm going to be generous and give it a pretty comfy place to live. Hey, by the way, I accidentally forgot Dracula's castle. Somehow. So just place that in actively in danger. Okay, bye. Alright, Mementos, and this is an automatic hell. You're trapped in a cognitive realm filled with, you know, shadows that are trying to kill you non-stop. There's nowhere really to live, except deeper and deeper into, you know, a subway station. On top of that, right here is currently a floating platform as well, so it's just all around hell. Okay, this is gonna be tough. So, automatically, we are not stuck on a floating platform because there was stairs to get to this, which means we could theoretically walk anywhere we see here, which this is a huge map. Which means, besides the walk, we just need to find a really nice place to live. Pretty sure, yeah, there's something there. I'm pretty sure this is straight up just the map of that Dragon Quest game. There's a building. That looked a little sketchy though, but that building over there. I think I'm gonna give this a cozy place to live. It sucks that we have to walk to one of those towns on the ground, but we could theoretically do it and live there. Spiral Mountain. Now, I do know in-game you can climb it, and you could get to Banjo's house, which is pretty chill, pretty nice. I don't think it's a paradise per se, but it's definitely a comfy place. Yet another stadium, and I think that big building back there indicates to me that there is indeed a city here, which means I'm gonna put this into a comfy place to live. The living conditions are really good. Like, they have like great food and like excellent places, like nice dorms, and like a great army to keep you safe. The problem is that in the course of the game, this place does fall to like war and stuff. So, it's really tricky because like most of the time it's a nice place to live, but the danger it goes through later on, and the fact that on multiple occasions bad people sneak into this place and cause mayhem, I'm gonna put it into the it's fine category. And we have our final stadium of the game, and this one's also easy. Look at those skyscrapers in the background. It's a cozy place to live. Minecraft world. This is tricky. Knowing the lore of the game, you could chop this tree and make yourself a house. Which means you have to put a little bit of work into actually being safe here, but you've got chicken, which means you can make food. It is technically a floating platform, but you could mine down and get to the other place. But also, if you are stuck here, you could just play it like it's Skyblock. You've got a tree here, so which means you can infinitely make wood. You got grass and 2 chickens, which means you can start a chicken farm. You could live a nice life here. It won't be luxurious, but I'd say it's fine. Floating platform. And on top of that, this is kind of the final area of Final Fantasy. And a lot of stuff, a lot of dangerous stuff goes down. Also including, like, a meteorite. So, like, I would not call this safe to live on, but I could also give it the benefit of the doubt since technically nothing affects the platform in the match. So I'm just going to put floating platform. Technically, you could live here. Start of the game, the main character, he lives on his grandfather here, quotations. And he lives in this little hut, and he treasure dives. And then it can land to any of the islands we see in the background. So I'd say, you know, it's fine. It's not a great place to live. But you could live, you could get your food, you could go visit places. It's a nice place. I'm assuming since he's here, it's easy to live here. Well, maybe not easy, but you can live here. The problem is Hayachi here. He probably doesn't enjoy you being here. That's fine if, you know, you get along with Hayachi. But if you don't, then you are actively in danger. And finally, the last stage in this game. Hollow Bastion. And I'm just going to tell you right now, do not live here. It is crawling with Heartless. And as a child, I got very stuck here and very upset. So much so that I'm just gonna call hell. Okay, well no. I'm joking. But I'm definitely gonna put you are in active danger living here. Because you could very much live here. It's not hell per se, but it is another final area of a game, so you don't want to live here. And that is every Super Smash Bros. Stage in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, ranked depending on how likely I would live there. That took a while, and I'm never going to get this time back in my life, but I hope you learned something of value here. That any one of these places is more affordable than our current economy.